Welcome to Monkey Chatter. Monkey Chatter is a podcast by three great friends who have different perspectives on all things wellness. So let's jump right into today's topic.
Hello, this is Amy, and as always, I am here with my friends Lara and Michelle. And we switched our topic up a little bit for this podcast because we realized that, Lara actually pointed out that August is Wellness Month. And so we thought it would be kind of fun to do something on the topic of wellness. Not that I feel like all of our podcasts have something to do with wellness, but maybe a little different take on it. And so Michelle actually, because of course we always get on here and chat for just a few minutes amongst ourselves before we start recording. And Michelle actually just brought up a really good question. And we were like, we really need to start recording this before we actually talk about all of this. So, and then I'm sure we'll go down lots of other rabbit holes as we go along too. But Michelle, as the curious monkey, what was your curious question that you just asked?
Well, and now I can't remember what my question was.
Oh.
But, so clearly the mental wellness is, but I think because now I have so many questions really around this topic. I think my first one was really who defines wellness, right? Like what does that even mean? And the other question with that, when was the last time you felt truly well? And I guess so, like defining wellness, you kind of need to know what that means for you, because I was thinking, as kids, most children, well, I'm not even sure if it's sort of an all children thing, but you don't get a sense of, am I well, am I not well? Like you just are. And I was wondering, what age do we start like the knowing that we don't feel good, right? I guess as babies you cry when you since I had a crying baby earlier. I guess as babies you cry when something is not quite right. It doesn't mean you're not well, but I guess it can mean you're not well. I don't know. So I have lots of questions around wellness. And also, just to throw this out there, I've noticed a ton of like posts and people talking about the idea that all this focus on wellness is just making us miserable. So that's a whole other like next topic. So first, I guess, what is wellness, and when was the last time you felt really well?
So of course I had to just do a little Google thing, a little Google thing here. And this is a thing from UC Davis. It says wellness is caring for your mind, body, and soul, usually affected by your culture and your life experiences. Self-defined and dynamic. It's not only the absence of illness or stress.
Right, so that makes it even harder.
Yeah.
Right? Say, I think that it is self-defined. So I like that they validated my thought there. I did the same as Amy. And I pulled up two things that came up first. One was the actual definition from the Oxford Languages Dictionary. Wellness means the state of being in good health, especially as an actively pursued goal, which is interesting.
Oh.
And so that wellness is something you are actively pursuing, which makes a lot of sense. And then the second one was from the Global Wellness Institute.org.
That's what I was just looking at. Yeah.
You want to read that one?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It says the Global Wellness Institute defines it as the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health.
So wow, there's a ton to unpack there, right?
Yeah. Like, remember, we're keeping this to an hour, right?
Like
you may have to have a part two.
The idea that wellness is not quote unquote achievable. You're always in process, right? That it's just, so that's the first thing that pops out to me. What about you guys when you hear those?
I mean, I'm in total agreement with that. It's very much self-defined because everybody's level of wellness and how they feel, and it's very subjective, is going to be based on their own experiences. So you could have someone who grew up and maybe had a really bad childhood where they lacked, or perhaps were even, in an abusive home, or went hungry, or all kinds of things. And to them, wellness might just be meaning, being gainfully employed and having a roof over their head and stuff in their fridge. That could be the basic. It's like getting your basic needs met for some people is wellness. And then, there's the middle people who are like, okay, they go to the gym and their doctor says they're healthy and they don't have to take a, crap ton of medications. And those people might consider that wellness. Sorry, there's a cat knocking things over.
It's always a cat got to make an appearance.
Ding, ding, ding.
And then the other end of it is like the people who are more, your typical like people like who are actively pursuing ways to improve their overall life and their holistic health, like the Global Wellness Institute. And that probably, like, the three of us are probably more in that group than the others, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess I never thought of it. It's so weird now that I read that, because I don't know. This is, as Michelle calls it, mind bendy. Like, I guess I never really thought of it as the active pursuit of it, but yes, it is. I just never thought of it that way before.
I didn't really either, and it's interesting because I have I own a wellness business, and I'm always pushing wellness.
Yeah, and we're called Three Monkeys Wellness.
We're called Three Monkeys Wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I didn't think of it as. But also, that's part of kind of our mantra is like we're always encouraging people to pursue finding ways to improve their wellness. So I guess in a roundabout way, that's what we do. But I've never heard it defined like that. And I do. Yeah, I like that. It's a choice, basically. Pursuing wellness is a choice, is what it's sounding like.
I actually looked up because CrossFit has what they call the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum. So it basically is like this curve. And it's like sickness on this side, wellness is in the center, and it says it's based on measurements of blood pressure, body fat, bone density, yada, yada, yada. And then fitness is on the other end of the spectrum. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. And like, how do you measure overall wellness when you can measure, your health stats, like your blood pressure and your sugar and your numbers and all that, like you said, but like, there's the mental side of it. You could have all that and not be mentally good state of.
You could be miserable.
Exactly.
Right? You can have all the numbers and still not feel well. I think of my own sort of journey trying to manage blood sugar and that kind of thing, and how I, at a certain point, I had all the numbers looked great and I felt like crap. So in my mind, like, that's not how I define wellness. Like, if all your numbers are great and you don't want to get out of bed, well, that's not wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and look at like the, because of course I read like a lot of the sports psychology stuff and all that. I mean, look at how many Olympic athletes like have committed suicide, or like, will come out and admit that was something that they like went and got help for, or whatever, because they were, but I mean, look at them. They're some of the fittest people on the planet.
Yeah. So it's really, it's really a big picture thing. It's not one metric. It's not just your fitness. It's not just yours, your health data. It's your mental wellness. And I guess that's kind of what the Global Wellness Institute is saying. I actually found something else really quick here that says there are 4 types of wellness.
Ooh,
and
retail.
Yeah. And this is, again, like some new stuff for us too. So I'm not sure where this is coming from.
Everyone, you're learning along with us.
Yeah. So Google is providing all sorts of things. And this is not AI. I'm not using AI. This is just by Googling, which I know is kind of like AI. But so this says there's 4 types of wellness: physical, emotional, social, and spiritual.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that wheel that we've talked about in the past with Michelle, that Michelle loves. It's it's finding that balance. And when you work all that stuff into the big wheel, then, that's your pursuit of wellness. It sounds like, physical is easy to define, I think, to some degree.
And maybe, Lara, maybe that's why, because there are such definite like numbers, maybe that just makes it easier to focus on, like, oh, I'm gonna get well, and
Yeah.
because the other stuff, so it's, what is it, physical, mental,
Emotional,
emotional, and was it
social,
social?
and
Yeah.
spiritual. So
Oh, and
mental
spiritual, that was it.
is emotional.
Yeah, so like how do you, so let's take spiritual, because that has a little, yeah, feel to it, little mind bendy, right, Aim?
Well,
Like
yeah.
so how do you, you're looking at, 12 people in a room, how do you define spiritual wellness?
Yeah.
Like that to me is a really interesting category of, because I guess, did they have mental as a separate?
No, there is no mental. It's
It was emotional.
physical, emotional, social, and spiritual. And I would guess mental goes under emotional because it
Yeah,
talks about managing your emotions and your
yeah,
self-esteem and being resilient when things are stressful, those kinds of
yeah.
things.
How
So
are they defining spiritual?
spiritual is saying, okay, finding meaning and purpose in life, and developing a sense of connection to something larger than your own self.
Mm,
It may or may not be religious in nature, is what they're saying. It's basically the feeling that you have the freedom to explore your own beliefs and values.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
That's, man. If you really, the thing that's so hard about all this stuff is, like, it's really easy to read and sort of understand the words of it. But then when you really just scrape a little of the top layer off and you're like, well, what does that look like? Like, if you're a truly well person in all four categories, how does that life get lived? Those are the things that sort of fascinate me, and it goes back to being self-defined, I guess, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really interesting because it's so much more than I think people initially think of when you just say wellness. I think
Mm,
most people immediately go to physical wellness.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the social wellness too, that's a big aspect of this whole thing and
Yeah, we
we've
talked
talked
about the
about that.
community and the
Yeah.
blue zones and
Connection.
Oh, you hang
Yep.
yeah,
with others, right? A sense of
yeah.
belonging, those things are part of the wellness for. There are some other places that replace emotional with mental, it looks like, too, just kind of scrolling through the rest of the stuff
So
that comes up.
random question, but does it show financial wellness in there anywhere? Is it like a little subcategory in any of them?
Not that I'm seeing, but in the wheel, like when they showed the picture of the wheel, there is financial. So
Yeah.
there's also environmental,
Mm,
and intellectual
yeah.
on the
Hmm.
little wheel. So like all
Yeah.
those are some extra pieces of the pie that I guess you could, yeah. Yeah, because I guess financial wellness can contribute to your overall wellness.
Oh. And that's so when I had my little brief stint as a wellness coordinator for
Oh,
Baltimore
that's
City.
right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was one of the, when I was trying to put the program together, we were trying to encompass everything. And financial was definitely one of them as well.
So I have a thought about that.
I'm
So
shocked.
certainly, Amy's like,
Michelle
no,
has a thought or a
you're
question.
so shy, and so, yeah. In our culture, yes, I think that financial piece is really a huge chunk, maybe a bigger chunk of the whole picture. Because when you think about some of those blue zones and stuff, and when you look at the average annual income, or whatever, it's clearly not all about the money,
Hmm.
Right.
right?
Well, yeah. And what's that? There's some statistic that I'm gonna probably butcher now, but what is it right now? Like if you make is it like 70,000 or something is
I
like the
think it
cutoff
was
mark? But
75 for a while in the
yeah,
United States. I don't know where it is now, but that once you make more than that, it doesn't truly, that's more around your happiness
yeah,
I was going to
statistic,
say,
though,
how
but
tied in is all this with your happiness, though? I think
yeah.
it's very tied in.
right?
Mhm.
Well, and happiness is a moving target as well, right? You never achieve I'm in happiness and it doesn't go away or come, you know what I mean? Like, I think that,
Happiness. Woohoo.
right? So it's always sort of, a maybe that's like one of the big lessons really is that our culture has gotten really fixated on goals and sort of getting to an end game. I'll be happy when
Yeah.
I have a goal to lose X amount of weight and then my whole life is going to be fine. And that really, when you start to dig down, is not how it works. It's not how wellness works. It's not how quote unquote happiness works. None of it. Life doesn't work that way, right?
Right.
There was, Amy, you're always talking to me about the Stoics.
Mm,
And
yeah.
it makes me think about I think it's Buddhism where it talks about struggle, right? Like this idea somewhere along the way got a little twisted. Like life is really struggle, like from birth to death. It's really just a series of struggles that we go through. And the in between part, is used to be like when you think way back to when man kind of first started, man, everything was a struggle, right? You had to find food and you were getting eaten by things, and it just probably was not super easy and a struggle all the time. So that when they did have a moment where things weren't so hard, right? Like, and they could rest, like that was so much more impactful, because for us we just expect no struggle ever. Like if we struggle, there's something wrong. If somebody's sad, we're like, oh, we should medicate that because you're sad. So like we have really changed up, and I forget where I read this, but we have really changed up what the human experience is supposed to be, which is part of our problem.
Well, and that's what, you guys know I'm always about like do hard things.
Mm,
But
yeah.
like, even that book, The Comfort Crisis, it talks about how, we're used to sitting in comfy chairs
Mm.
in a climate controlled environment, like not too hot, not too cold, um, all of that. I'm like, and that's what, like, sometimes I shouldn't say this now because Michelle was just talking about being hot, but that's why whenever people are like, oh, it's so hot or I'm so cold, I'm like, seriously? You're not going to die. You're going to be okay. I mean, within reason. Let's,
Yeah.
not sit out in the snow or,
Yeah.
whatever. But, yeah, like, again, it's okay to be
Uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
Not,
not only okay, I would argue that it's part of the natural human condition. And if you want to feel truly well, you need to get a relationship with that is a little more normal. So that when, let's say, okay, I'm hot. Okay, well, I'm going to go get a fan. Like you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like that inability to gosh, Lara, this goes back to all the like basically to just accept what is.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was totally going that way. Because I think it's a Buddhist quote, and I don't know the actual quote, but it's something about most suffering is caused by wanting things to be different than they really are.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And so if you release that attachment to the situation, because you know that it's impermanence.
Mm.
So it's impermanent. So we are always thinking that whatever is happening in the moment is not going to ever change, but everything changes all the
Changes.
time.
This too
And
shall pass,
yeah,
right? Isn't that like
yes.
the good and the bad,
Yeah,
right?
so when we assign aversion, if you will, to a certain state, and then all we can think about is changing and getting out of that situation, we create more suffering with the situation. Instead of sitting with the situation in a non-judgmental way, knowing that that situation is going to pass, and perhaps finding something in the situation that we can learn from, then that's kind of what they talk about in a lot of the ancient yoga sutras talks in similar way. Like yoga, that when you're sitting in a yoga pose, it's really a mindfulness delivery device, as my teacher Cindy Reed always says, that you're not attaching yourself to thinking, oh, my nose is itching, I really need to move my arm, or, my leg is starting to go numb or whatever. If there's pain, then make a change, move a leg, move an arm, get into a different pose. But as far as just wanting things to be different all the time, that's what causes the suffering. So we're kind of like, this is definitely on the mental side of the wellness.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So one of the things that we had talked about was before, like earlier today, was like what is the thing? Words are hard today. This is what happens when your sleep wellness is not very good.
Yeah.
So like what is one quote unquote wellness practice, like pick whatever that is, that you do really well and has made the biggest impact on your life, or what you feel is your overall wellness. Look at me go. I'm like the curious monkey now.
I love it.
And what is one aspect of, again, quote unquote, however we want to define wellness, that you struggle with and is the biggest area for improvement?
That's a good question, Amy.
Really good. Well,
I learned from Michelle. I spent years with her.
Do you have an answer for yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're not going to share until
I was going to let you guys go first because I asked the question. But if you guys need some time to think, I can.
No.
Yeah.
Immediately with the first one, anyways. Actually, I knew both. I mean, I'll be honest. I feel like yoga changed everything for me, because yoga it kind of covers all four of those. I mean, once you get immersed in yoga, you are typically, you're addressing emotional, physical, social, and spiritual, because a lot of people feel like, yoga is not a religion. People do get that wrong. But you get so much time in yoga to kind of sit with yourself, or to maybe appreciate, like whatever larger connection to, the world or the universe there is, or God, or whatever your beliefs are. Like that's kind of inherent in the practice. So I do feel like when I started doing yoga really regularly, but really after I went through teacher training, it kind of like a switch flipped for me. And that's when I really was starting to feel like this has made a difference. And that's when I think I started making some bigger changes too in my life, with starting a new business. And I think I'm a better person. Like, I definitely have more patience. I have more ability to get through hard things. I mean, I was pretty volatile in the past.
I've never called you volatile.
Me either.
You didn't know me back then. Like, this was years and years ago, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was a terrible person or anything, but yeah, I just feel like so much more equipped. I guess that's a good way to put it. I feel like yoga has given me so many tools, and through yoga, I've learned some other things. Like meditation is another one that I think is just, it's so hard, but once you start to do it regularly, I feel like now I look back and I'm like, it's not hard at all. But in the beginning, it's hard. It's hard to sit still and not think about everything else you should be doing. So that would be my, that was the second part of the question. Oh, the one you're not good at.
Not good, but just where you have the biggest room for improvement.
Oh, okay. The one that I have the biggest room of improvement for definitely is, I do think yoga addresses all those, but for me, the physical exercise portion of it, I feel like I do struggle with that, because I want to do the cardio. I know I'm supposed to do the cardio. I don't like to do the cardio. I eat really healthy. Like, I'm really good at that. All of my health data is very good. I would say my cholesterol numbers are a little, my good cholesterol is super, super high, and my bad is a little high. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me. My doctor is, she's always checking me. But everything else on the physical, I feel so blessed because I don't have a lot of problems at my age. What's lacking for me is, like, I am in menopause and I am getting the achy knees, and like my hips are good because I do a lot of hip stuff and yoga, but the knees, I'm like, I don't know what to do about that, because, the pelvic floor and the knees, because that, if you start doing cardio, that makes it worse. from my experience. And that when I try to do more, I'm like, well, now it hurts worse on this side or that side. So I am combating that with two things. One is infrared sauna. I have become an avid user of the infrared sauna at our business because it does stimulate your heart health, and it kind of simulates a fever, but it also, you sweat, your heart rate rises. So in essence, it's almost like you're exercising. That's what they say. It's really good for cellular regeneration. It's good for your pulmonary health. So that's one thing. And then I also bought a vibration plate. I have to be careful when I say that.
I was like,
told my
This
sister
is-
about it the other day, and it didn't come out that way. And she's like, "You did a what? What? You bought a what?" But this vibration plate, you can do very low impact strength, like squats and lifting and things like that, while on the vibration plate. And it does help to, and I did find some actual studies, like scientific stuff, that it helps improve pelvic floor muscle tone and also bone density, which is another old lady problem. So those are the things I'm trying to do to make up for the fact that I'm not going out and jumping jacks and doing treadmill or elliptical or jump, whatever the other things you can do. I'm not going to. I walk. I don't do super crazy fast walking, but I gotta be honest, the knee thing is really stressing me out. Yeah. So there's my 2 cents.
Yeah. All right, Michelle.
I think I need to start doing yoga.
No, same. I feel a little volatile sometimes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it really helps.
Environmental.
True that. Fair.
Okay. So I definitely am with Lara on the thing. I'll do the thing that's hardest first for me is the physical part. Like,
I'm going to push back on that just a skosh because you have definitely changed that
well,
a whole lot.
but it doesn't
recently.
mean that I like it. So I think it's the most difficult thing and also I'll try to keep it in the 4 thingies because that was good.
The 4 thingies.
So
That's a very technical.
Thank you. I'm very
based podcast.
As you can tell, I am the technical techie one in the group. But I think the physical for me bumps up against, I guess, the emotional, right? I have so many I'm just annoyed that I have to do it, right? So because I think my body should just do its thing. Like as long as I'm doing my thing, it should do its thing, and there shouldn't need to be any of all this extra. Like menopause was just, I was like, now that I know what I know, I'm like, well, clearly that required a lot more work on my part than I put in, So I think for me, it gets all wrapped up in the physical gets all wrapped up in the emotional piece. And then so I think the thing that has been best for me my whole life, I have been really blessed to be able to create great relationships.
Mhm.
Like I have the best friends, Lara.
Yeah, you do.
Amazing. But I just have this whole huge network of people that I've connected with since I was a kid, right? And I never thought of it as something that I just assumed everybody did that. Doesn't everybody have friends they've had for 50 years? I don't know. I didn't know that it was a problem for people. I just didn't know. So I think I've been super, super blessed on the social side. And, I grew up with my mom's family was gigantic. So I had literally hundreds of cousins. So I've always had this really nice social, I like to talk, obviously. And so that part has always been, I've always felt pretty good about, and I'm a pretty good friend. I've had a few lapses that I've had to apologize for over the years, but for the most part, I try to be a really good friend.
So a great friend.
Thank you. Well, everybody has their little hiccups where they do things they think they shouldn't, or they regret, or, don't do things they should,
That's
but
called being human.
yeah. And still. So I think then when I look at like I said, I think that emotional piece for me has always been a work in progress. I'm not, talk about volatile. Oh my God. So
I have visions of you standing on a coffee table.
yeah, I've had a few moments that I'm not proud of. So
All right.
I have learned over the years to do better. So I think when you know better, you do better.
True.
And then the spiritual piece, I was raised Catholic, like really Catholic, like, like really Catholic. Like anybody who's Catholic knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You have
And
holy water that you sprinkled around the house during thunderstorms?
I did not do that.
Thunderstorms.
My
Yeah.
grandmother used to do that.
See, people know, like there are things that go on, but we were a family that, when my dad was home, like we all went to church together every Sunday, like, and my mom, I laugh when people talk about Sunday as a day of rest, because I'm like, it was a day of rest for the guys, but the women are working their butt off. They have to like get ready for church, get all the kids dressed, get them like lined up in a row, get to church, keep everybody under control, make sure nothing crazy happens, then go home and make the big Sunday dinner. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a day of rest. Anyway, I digress. But but that, I think that I really am now a recovering Catholic. Like I'm not a fan of organized religion. I'm grateful that I had that. So I think the spiritual piece, I'm grateful for my upbringing, because I do have a sense of something greater than myself. And I do, it's funny, like in tough times, right? Then you really know what you're going to reach to. And I do, like, I mean, it's amazing. Like when things are really tough, how quickly I can hit my knees and be doing the Our Fathers and the Hail Marys. And let me tell you, those come right to you. So I think that has served me really well. Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting question,
Yeah,
Amy.
it would be fun. It would be funny, just not funny, fun, not fun. Interesting for each of us, just on our own time. We don't have to do it here, but like just to rate yourself in the 4 categories,
Yeah.
Mm.
We should do that.
The wheel.
On like a 1 to 10 kind of thing.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
fun. Because I mean, I never really have dove into it quite this far either, and it's really interesting.
All right, Amy. We saved you for last because you knew what you were going to say.
Yeah. So, I mean, and these probably will not come as a shock to either one of you. But I would say, like, it's so funny. I'm cracking up because we are also like opposite. When they say opposites attract, it really is
like, who are you people?
Because yeah, like the physical side is not like, that's just a daily habit. Like
Plus.
well, I don't know. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but that is definitely not something that I struggle with. I actually just had I met up with a friend of mine from the gym and we were talking about that on Saturday. She's like, yeah, I've never really, like, that's not been something I've struggled with. Like, there's definitely other things that I've struggled with it. But, and for me, like, that is part of my mental health. Like, so somebody just said to me the other day, we actually had a sports psychologist at our meeting last week, and his 2 questions for me was, what does running do for you? And like, what is your goal with running or whatever? And when people say like, what does running do? Or why do you run? I'm like, it keeps me from killing people daily. Like, I am just a much better human. Like Lara, you were talking about yoga.
Yeah.
I am just a much better human. And it's funny because you guys obviously know I've been on a bit of a running hiatus here the last probably 8-9 months. And just really started to come back here in the last month or so. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I am a different human.
Tony, like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. You need a new pair of shoes. Keep those miles going.
Let me support this. Yeah.
But yeah, like if I don't go to the gym and I don't run, that has a huge effect on my mental state. So that all kind of ties together. So yeah, the physical side is probably, where I excel is not the word, but if I had to rank it, like that would be the number one. And then at the bottom of the pile is gonna be like sleep and like resting. I was actually just kind of thinking about that earlier. Literally last week I had one night. Now last week was a bit of an anomaly too, but I had one night that my watch registered 0 sleep at all.
Okay, that's not good.
And one night that it registered 3 hours of sleep. But like sleep is definitely
So you're basically saying that you accept your best and your worst are in the same category of physical wellness.
Because what do you call sleep? Is sleep in the physical?
Yeah.
Sleep is physical.
That would fall in the physical, I think. Yeah.
That's interesting though.
Yeah, and the whole
it's
like
not emotional and it's not social and it's not spiritual.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be emotional. It depends. Are you lying awake, worried and anxious, or are you just not sleeping because you're busy?
No, I'm just and I'm just like, oh, I need to do that, and I need to do that, and like trying to burn the candle at both ends, and
it's just because you're trying to make.
So I would push and say yes, sleep technically falls in the physical bucket, but there is something emotional around prioritizing sleep so low. Right?
Wow,
that came out a little backwards.
Yeah,
but
so low.
Yeah, but I would say that's an emotional, or it would fall in that bucket where you would want to dig into. Okay, why? Yeah, because that's a big one. Sleep, Amy, that's a big one. Sleep.
I do. Yeah. We read that book, Why We Sleep.
Yes.
A whole podcast on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's, and it probably, not being a, psychologist or psychiatrist or anything, but probably when you look at things like perfectionism or things like that, like I'm sure it's tied up with something else, but I would probably say that would be part of it. Because you certainly have tons of like mental toughness, like you are really resilient, right, and all of that. But there's something that causes, there's something that causes you to prioritize all of that other stuff over your sleep.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
And then I have to say, because Michelle, you were talking about the spiritual stuff, like, and it's funny when you're talking about the religion, because I feel like I'm the like I have, and you guys know this too, like I've definitely really dug into the spiritual side more so, and I'm definitely deepening that, which has been good. And it's interesting then to talk about like community and all of that. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it, but so that's been really interesting here over the last probably, I don't know, like really this year, but probably the last year and a half or so. But since I started doing that Bible recap thing, like where you like read through the Bible in a year and doing all the work with that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like digging deeper into all that. I have to say,
Amy, that is so when I think about you as like my friend, that is one of the coolest things that I kind of watch from afar. I'm not sure exactly how to explain it, but I'm like, oh, I really love Amy and she's awesome. And she does like Bible study. Like, so it's sort of twists, like for somebody who comes from organized religion, I don't know,
be normal,
right? I'm like, but and the other thing I just want to say is that you actually live it. Like you're not one of these phony like fake church people. No, but like you run into so many people who are just like phony church people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And they give
a
bad name.
You are not that. You are not that. And it's so you actually, and again, I don't know any other way to explain it, but like I kind of just watch it from afar and I'm like, oh, look at that. And that's a really cool community she's got there. Oh,
Yeah.
and look at that. Oh, and Amy's pretty freaking normal. And
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's so funny. This is gonna like go like off the rails a little bit, but it's so funny because I do my Faithfully Fit ladies on Wednesday night and then a Bible study on Thursday nights, and with a totally different group of women, and in that group we're actually just started a new study last week on prayer, and I was because this is how I am like all the time. And I was like, I watch some of these people and they like say prayer like, dear Lord, thank you for this and thank you for that. And I'm like, knock, knock, knock. Are you there, God? It's me. Can you help a girl out? But it even talks about in the Bible, like you're supposed to go to like, just talk like real. Like I am not this eloquent kind of girl. I'm like, hey, Lord, your girl needs a little help here. I don't know what's going on, but we can fix that. Anyway, so that's why I like the group that I hang out with.
right?
Relationship with God. God, can you help a girl out here?
Yeah. What is it? Are you there, God? Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Margaret, yeah. You know, have you guys ever read anything by Anne Lamott?
No.
No, but I feel like you've talked about
Yeah.
She
her
is,
before.
man, she is something. And I can't think of it now, but her prayer is, I'm going to mess it up. Anyway, I'll find it and think of it. It's something like, her prayer to God is, oh, I'm going to mess it up. I don't want to say it because I'm going to Google it now because I want to know for sure. But go ahead. You go.
When you Google it and then
No, I can't find my
sticking her hand up.
those of you not watching this on YouTube, Michelle,
I gotta find this now because I love her. She is so funny. I love her.
Same. I was raised Catholic, but then I've got a cat meowing. But then, honestly, like as I got older, I married a Jewish guy, so like I went total opposite. I guess not really, but so my eyes got really open when I really got into Judaism for a while, and it was really interesting, and I felt like it was so relevant compared to Catholicism, at least for me. But then later on, I just kind of lost interest in the organized religion. I'm more like Michelle, but at the same time, like I'm constantly like, oh, I'm sorry, God, like I did something that was like maybe rude, or like I pulled out in front of somebody and I was like, screw them. And then I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't really mean that.
And I'm like, she who rules all the universe, the mother of all, anyways, but yeah, it's funny all the reiterations that our spiritualism can go.
Well, isn't it interesting?
And get mature. So
yeah.
You find
okay, so I found it.
Yeah.
I found it. So Anne Lamott, she's an author and she writes a lot about religion. And but her 3 prayers are help is the first one. That's the prayer.
Good.
Help. Her second one is thanks.
Yeah.
That's her second one. And then her third one is wow. And when she talks about
that,
she is just, and the wow, like the first time I read that, she was talking about, sort of that awe that you feel when you see a sunset or a sunrise, like just wow, like things that, yeah. But I loved that. Check her out, Anne Lamott.
Yeah.
Beautiful writer too, but really cool, really, yeah. She's.
I'm just cracking up at like the cat ears in the bottom of the screen.
Kitty ears. Hello, kitty.
Oh, does not look thrilled to be here.
Because the one that came up here on her own is look, no hands. They want up so bad, and then the minute you try to like hold them or pet them or make them sit in your lap, they're like, nope. See ya. Yeah. Speaking of religion, and I know this is off topic, but I wish I could show it to you all, but there was a little cartoon I saw today, and it had like a little group of people sitting in a circle, and it was like 4 nuns and a guy in like a pope hat, and then one guy in a ball cap and a shirt with a picture of a cat on it, and it said the top said Catholic meeting,
Oh.
and he looked, and his caption said, "I think I'm in the wrong place." Those of you who don't know how to spell Catholic, it's also it's just so funny, and it was like Jen and cat humor.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
I
yeah,
feel like I'm leaning forward, like I can look down into your screen and see your cat. Like that's literally what I was doing. I was like, wait, where did the cat go? Okay, for anybody who does not watch the podcast on YouTube and instead just listens to it, this one I think you probably need to watch on YouTube because Michelle's got her hand up here, like.
Wait, I'm looking for.
It's usually,
And we got the kitty, the pretty kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have cat up here, and cat's orange, which explains everything. But yeah, it's not usually on
so all right, wait a minute. We're getting ready to close up here soon.
We're
so
off topic.
Right.
so
Yeah.
so how would you, like right now today, like on a 1 to 10, where would you put your wellness? Thinking of all those categories, like an overall number.
I'm gonna go and say 8.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that's what I would have.
That's where I was gonna go.
Yeah.
And an 8 for Amy.
It would be a 10 if it wasn't for this dang knee thing.
Hmm.
And I was not feeling an 8 a week or a week and a half ago. We were texting about this earlier, but I don't know. For any of those of you who are more on the woo-woo side of things, there was a lot of stuff happening in the astrological world. And I'm not super into that, but I have a lot of people who are, and I'm curious about it. I'll just say it's something I'm very curious about. So there were all these things happening. There was a new moon in Aquarius that was coming. Now it's been here and gone. There was also Mercury in retrograde, which, if you've never experienced that, that is a real phenomenon. Okay? Things break all the time during Mercury in retrogrades. And there's even science on that. But then the other thing was this Lionsgate portal, which is like 8-8. You know, this was, obviously you guys are hearing this and it's the end of August. But at any rate, I could not tell you how many people I kept running into that didn't even know about this kind of stuff, that were just saying in general, the last, like, I'd say 2 weeks, prior to all this, I'm just tired. I just don't feel any motivation. Like, I don't know. I'm just worn out. I don't feel like doing anything. And I was feeling the same thing. And the only thing that happened weather-wise was we went from like 100 to hundreds of degrees for, a month straight to like nice weather, cool and a little bit of rain and, like normal summer weather. And that shouldn't have triggered that, in my opinion.
No, that made me feel like
reverse,
so
right?
much better. Yeah. I was gonna say I felt great like when that cooler weather came in.
And that kind of kicked in, and I thought, well, maybe that was something to do with it, because now it feels like maybe fall's coming, and I'm a summer person, but I don't know. But like, so then the last week of it, I was just like, you know what? Fighting this and like being at odds with it isn't going to change it, and I'm probably just going to feel worse. So I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to take, if I want to sleep in a little bit more, I'm going to sleep in a little bit more. If I feel like going to bed early, I'm going to bed early. If I don't, I'm just going to take it a little bit more easy. And then as we got close to the full moon, I was like, okay, normally I love the full moon. Like, I always feel energized by the moon. So I was like, I'm going to do a little ritual. I did all this witchy stuff. It was awesome. But I mean, the weirdest part was like the night I did the witchy ritual. That's hard to say. I sat on the porch and I had like my little candle, and I did my journaling, and I burned some paper and put it in the water bowl, and then looked at the full moon for a while. And then I took a bath, went to bed, had the best sleep in the last like month, woke up. It was like a new day. I was like, everything was better. It was the weirdest thing, but maybe it wasn't so weird.
I was going to say.
Is that why you have a black cat?
5
Witchy.
a week ago, and today I'm an 8, almost a 9. Sorry for that long explanation.
No, I love it. I wanted to hear. I wanted to know what you did with your
break the spell,
lack of energy and motivation, like how you yeah.
Well, I went with it first of all.
Yeah.
Then when I got tired of it and I had the option of like, oh, it's a full moon, I'm going to take advantage of the full moon.
Yeah.
And do the thing.
Leaning in. I was yeah.
How about you, Michelle?
What
number are you?
Oh, not an 8. No, I can't quite get to an 8. I'd say I probably live in 6, 7 land most of the time now. Yeah. Can't
You
quite
know,
get to an
yeah. I mean, it's funny because if you talk to wellness people, professionals, if you will,
the wellness profession. Not us.
Those
We are
people,
not
yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean.
We are amateurs.
You
amateur
know, and
wellness
I'm not
people.
saying that any of this is bad, but like
Mm.
there are some really simple things that they all seem to agree on.
Mm.
And I think most of us agree with that too. Like one of them is get some sun in the morning, get some early morning sun, either sit on a porch or take a walk or get out in the early morning sun. Move your body and get enough sleep, Amy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Working on it.
You know, those three, and then eat healthy, obviously. That's kind of, maybe it's not obvious to everybody. It seems like an obvious thing, but like those four kind of really basic things, you know, that we should be trying to do every single day.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like if you're not doing those basic minimum things, like just try them and see, like throw them in there.
Amy talks about that all the time. Like, yeah, that on the fitness level or physical level, that like if you're not, you know, all the other fancy stuff, like the supplements and all the things that you can do and whatever, if you're not drinking your water, getting your sleep, getting out, doing something, right? Hey, just side note, I am on day 72 of my meditation thing.
Oh, fancy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sticking with that.
Definitely
I don't
has
know if it's
room
helping, but
for
Well,
improvement.
and you know what? That's the other thing that of all people, I shouldn't have left that out. But like, that's another thing. Find stillness, and that's meditation.
Yeah.
Find some stillness in every single day. It can only be 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour.
Yeah.
Sunlight.
You can listen to Lara.
Sunlight.
Yes, Lara on Insight Timer.
Yeah.
If you use Insight Timer, you can listen to Lara. I do sometimes too. You're in my little pile.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're in my head.
Well, she's there too. I'm like, oh my God, it's Lara again.
I'm tired of hearing her voice. Sunlight, move your body, drink water, eat healthy, find stillness.
Do the things.
At the very least, do those 5 things. Wait, is that 4 or 5? I just counted. It's 5.
Yeah.
Do math. Math's good brain.
And make sure you have some good friends.
Yeah, get
who
some
you
good
hang
friends.
with matters.
Let's add that in. Connect with somebody.
Connect with people.
Connect with
real people, not like online people, like real people. Like, you know,
I've started to do. I did this with a friend, and then she tore her hamstring.
Yikes!
Parents versus kids soccer game. Oops. But anyway, we were doing. We call them walk and talks.
Yes.
It's like
yes.
Yeah. So like, and I like to do it just with one person, not like a whole group. Like I like doing stuff with a group is fine, but I really like the little walk and talks with just like an individual, because then you're moving and you're like really kind of connecting with. So I've done that with several friends now. Like we'll schedule walk and talks.
Love it.
I love that. I used to do that a long time ago with a friend in the neighborhood. I miss that. I need to find a walk.
Yeah, go for walk and talks.
I like that.
I'm gonna trademark that, walk and talk.
Walk and talk. I like that. Oh, and
not to be confused with walking tacos.
Or walkie talkies.
Oh my God.
Have you seen the walking tacos? They're like,
what is that?
Really? This is not eating healthy. Yeah. Where you take like if you're at like I don't know, like a little street fair or a little like carnival or something, they have walking tacos.
Like tacos in a cup.
They're like a bag of Doritos, and you like mash them all up and then like stick some meat and cheese and
meat and the cheese.
And you just eat it out of a Dorito bag.
Sounds really, really healthy. There you go. There's your wellness tip from 3 monkeys. Go get yourself a Dorito bag.
We forgot to add into your daily routine. So now we have 7, 6. Now we're up to 7. This is the 7th. 7's a good number. 7's a lucky number. Be grateful. Find one thing to be grateful for every day.
I am grateful for the 2 of you.
I'm grateful for the 2 of you.
There we go.
Yes. Claire's like, I'm grateful for me too.
There we go. I got that checked off my little list.
Yeah. I know. Dink, 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 dink.
Mine never looks like a heart. Looks like a butt.
You got whose butt looks like that?
Oh my God.
It's menopause butt.
All right.
All right, we are
Figuring out the thing.
diverting.
Sounds like we're starting to go down the hill.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So are we doing 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
Monkey chatter. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Monkey
Monkey chatter,
Monkey chatter.
Who you
Who
hang with matters.
matters?
chatters.
I think the name turned out okay.
Let's see.
All right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Monkey Chatter today. As a reminder, we want to let you know that while we think we are really smart, none of us are doctors or medical professionals. So anything that we say or suggest on this podcast should be run by your doctor before you make any major lifestyle, nutrition, or medication changes. Take care and be well, friends.